Close.
What does it say?
Shit. I gotta move the camera. New managing moderators can support your channel in even more ways. Introducing managing moderators. These users have the same capabilities as standard moderators, but in addition, they can manage blocked words and.
So like someone like a Shanine can be on there managing. So like someone like a Dr. Rachel's in live and they say something crazy. But now you have to say okay and then put it back where it was. So you just had to adjust it to just, hey, it's our first live in a while. We are live.
Yo, 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 what up though? What's happening, y'all? It's the Jenkins back in effect. What's going on? What's up, baby?
Hey. Look, we want to do a lot. We're going to start doing a weekly live Q&A. There have been so many questions about, honey, did you make sure that there's a countdown, like there's counting? Look, make sure that's on, honey. A screen. No.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
counting down.
I'm just making sure. Okay, put it back.
See, now you guys looking crazy. Like we don't know what we're doing.
Because I can't see. Turn it this way. You put it too far away. It's too far back. There you go.
We need to stop this and start it over.
Y'all, this is our first live in a long time, but we're going to start doing weekly lives. And there's been so many questions about Brian's injury with the double quad tear and the experience and the recovery. And he's still going through recovery. So we wanted to answer a lot of the questions, answer any, we'll do a live Q&A. We're going to start doing those live every week. So a lot of questions that we got about your legs were like, I would ask, what are you experiencing now? So this 5 years later, after he tore both quadricep tendons, you just have to tell the story briefly and then go into what you're feeling right now, 5 years later.
So first of all, I was, like she said, it's been 5 years and 5.5 years because I was 50. I'm 56 now and just made 56 in September. So I was telling people that my life started over at 50, which is crazy because I felt like an infant again, learning how to walk again. So that's why I say my life started over at 50 because I had to learn how to do all the things that I was walking. When I was walking with my walker at times, I would see these little infants and I would see them running up the stairs and running down the stairs. And I'm thinking to myself, like, will I ever be able to do that again? So I wasn't sure because this was the most, by far, the worst accident that I've ever had, the worst injury that I've ever had. And it set me back mentally, physically, and a lot of things I still can't do. Well, I can do it, but it hurts, and it's been 5.5 years, y'all. So, man, so for me, my biggest challenge is going down the stairs. Going up the stairs has become a lot easier. But one of the things that helped me out is that when I had the accident, I was weighing like 260 pounds. And I was walking to the Apple store downtown Chicago, and I fell in the construction zone. My foot went inside this little small hole, twisted my ankle. I was walking crazy fast. My body was still going straight, but when I stepped in that little hole, twisted my ankle, my body was going straight, but my knee was going left. And I can hear it cracking like, I can feel it as if it's happening right now. So, and then I tried to catch myself on the way down to fall into the ground. And my right leg, my right foot turned all the way around backwards. And I heard that one pop too. So I caught myself in a push-up position. So I didn't hit my face or my head or anything like that, because that could have been one of the type of injuries that I had as well if I would have hit my face on the ground.
Oh, your nose would have been broken. Like you would have had a concussion, brain damage. No, your nose would have been smashed.
Yeah, man. So that's just, man, it was a blessing that I had the upper body strength to catch myself, because
and the reflexes.
Yeah, the reflexes too. So, and that's one of the things that I think working out helped a lot with this injury. And because I used to be in gymnastics as well, so a lot of the stuff that I couldn't do, that my wife couldn't help me do, and Man, it was depressing. That's all I can say. I don't even know where I was going with that, but it was
You
very
were telling
depressing.
the rest of the story of the actual, so like as you fell, like what you were feeling, what you were hearing, like actually hearing it pop was crazy.
Yeah, it was like I can, as I think about it right now today, 5.5 years later, I can still see it like so vividly, and I can just still see myself falling. And I'm like, oh my God, am I gonna be able to walk again? Oh my God, I gotta call my wife. Oh my God, I hope my phone don't break, so I can call my wife. So when I caught myself in the push-up position, there was a guy walking out the porta potty, and he said, "Oh my God, excuse me, sir, can I call the ambulance? Let me call the ambulance." I said, "No." I said, "Let me call my wife." I didn't feel any pain, but I knew I couldn't walk. So I called my wife. I said, "Baby, I can't walk." She was like, "What do you mean? You just left here?" Because I just left the house.
5 minutes.
Yeah, like 5 minutes to go get my phone fixed
That's
at the
how
Apple
fast.
store.
That's how fast things can change.
Yeah, that's how fast life changes, just like that. So that's why we say stop putting stuff off that you should be doing today. Stop putting it off till tomorrow, because life is not promised tomorrow. Because that could have took me out if I wouldn't have had the reflexes to catch myself, and I could have banged my head and been in a coma or a concussion, whatever. So, but I had the upper body strength. They called my wife. My wife came running over there, and she got to like 3 minutes.
Because I ran
She was running. You know what I'm saying? So
in my UGG boots. I remember I almost ran out without my purse. I grabbed my purse and I put my UGG boots and I was gone.
yeah, man. So man, fortunately we stayed close. But in her mind, what she was thinking when she was coming over to get me, she was thinking like, "Hey, well, let me get you up. Let me help you get up. We'll jump in the cab and we'll go home and put some ice on it."
Because you called me and you said, "Baby."
Did I say it like that?
You said, "Baby." Yeah, baby. I fucked up my legs.
I did what to my legs?
I fucked up my leg.
I didn't hear you.
I fucked it up.
Did y'all understand what she just
Yeah,
said?
they understood. my leg. My leg, you said leg, real bad. I'm like, dang, I'm thinking you sprained something at the ankle or something, and we're just gonna go home, get in the cab, and put some ice on it. I had no clue that. And he said, yeah, this looks really bad too. So he pulled up the leg of his sweatpants all ripped up. Looked like physically looked like you got beat up. I'm like, what happened? Like you were walking to the store 5 seconds from the house. And I saw his kneecap, his left kneecap was on the side, and I touched it, and I felt it was like the femur bone is like there. I'm like, oh, I'm not supposed to be able to feel that. Like we're
Yeah.
personal trainers. I know I'm not supposed to feel that. I was a lifeguard, before in high school. So fortunately, I didn't panic. I said, oh, I need an ambulance.
Yeah. So they called the ambulance. Ambulance came to get me, and I didn't feel any pain the whole entire time before the ambulance got there. I'm chilling. I'm talking to Nicole. I had actually pushed myself up so I could just sit down, but my legs was all
I think I told
tangled
them
and mangled
because the kneecap was out of place, which I'd actually never seen before.
Yeah.
I don't even think I knew that was a thing. That it could move that far.
Yeah.
I told them that you dislocated your kneecap. So they're thinking that I'm like, okay, cool. Y'all just pop this thing back in place like a shoulder something. We go wrap it up with ace bandage to go home.
Yeah. So when the ambulance got there, they couldn't put me on a stretcher because my legs was all twisted. So they had to put me in this chair. It had a backrest that went straight down, a seat where I sit my butt, and then another leg thing where my legs would lay over the little. It was like a straight chair, like it was crazy, like a rocking chair with a ottoman or something. I don't know, but the thing is, when one guy picked me up underneath my arms and the other guy grabbed my legs.
First of all, these were little guys.
Yeah, these are little bitty dudes.
So when I saw them get out and they're like, "Oh, he's right there," and I saw them come out with the chair and they went to pick him up, I'm like, "Yeah, good luck with that."
Yeah. So when the one guy grabbed me under my arms, and then the other guy grabbed my legs, man,
he screamed bloody murder.
I screamed so loud that y'all probably could have heard me no matter where you watching this from. Y'all could have heard me from New York. You could have heard me from Colorado. You could have heard me from Texas. You know what I'm saying? Because I screamed that loud. And that's when I knew for a fact that I wasn't going to be able to walk. And then they put me into the ambulance and left my wife outside the ambulance because I don't know why.
Because they didn't know if I was going to panic or not.
Yeah, so
They like to keep you from going into shock.
so what they put me in the ambulance so they can twist my knees back into place, and they had to give me morphine. They gave me so many shots of morphine that it was crazy, and but it was needed. It was relevant because every time they touched me, I'm like, they said, "Can you feel that?" I said, "Yes." Can you feel that? I said, "Yes." Can you feel that? No. And when I said no, that's when they did something to my legs and they pow, popped back into place. And I said, you know what? I said, man, I said, that's it. I said, I'm good. Let me out. It was like, no, we still got to take you to the hospital. And that's when they let my wife inside after they got my legs back into place and they can lift me off that crazy looking chair and put me on the stretcher because they had to be able to lock my body into place. They couldn't pull off without me being secured in the seatbelt and on the stretcher. So
Because they couldn't get you in the hospital any other way.
yeah. So man, but right now, moving forward, 5 years later, I feel a lot better. And one of the things that really played a key part in my recovery was the fact that at the time, like I said, I was big swole, too swole for no reason. I wasn't playing nobody's football, National Football Association, none of that. I wasn't playing with the NFL, but I was big enough to have played with the NFL. But I'm carrying all that type of body weight for nothing. It was really for nothing. So my wife and I, man, we just started just paying attention to our diet, being just straight up like watching what we eat. And
I want to go into your physical therapy because a lot of people that you talk to who have been through this injury in the past do a little bit of physical therapy if they do, some at
and then they
all,
quit.
and then they quit. You got to talk about like you went thoroughly through physical therapy because people think because they start feeling better or they can walk that they're done, and that's not the case. Because as you walk forward doesn't mean that you can handle a lateral movement or a sudden movement or another fall.
Yeah. And so just to think about that question, it was like, man, physical therapy for me in the beginning was super, 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 super hard because for the first time, the therapist had me trying to do stuff that I just couldn't do. And I'm like determined. I don't want nothing to be able to stop me. So I just kept pushing, kept pushing, kept pushing, no matter how bad it hurt. And it was so depressing, especially before I'm gonna bag it up a little bit because before I started physical therapy, my wife had to help me go to the bathroom. She had to empty my urinals every night because I was taking the medication, the painkillers, and all this stuff in the very beginning. And like not ibuprofen, Vicodin.
You had no, it wasn't. It was
It was
no, it was Vicodin.
Tramadol,
No, it was Tramadol and Norcor.
Norcor, same thing as Vicodin,
Oh, okay, that's
and it was something else.
and I think they gave you some Tylenol
with
free
codeine. Yeah, Tylenol 3s with codeine. So all three of those pain medications, I was taking them every day.
that are terrible for your
And
liver. So I think you took them.
I took them for like a week.
Until the surgery.
Yeah.
So it's like a couple days after surgery, you're like done.
Yeah, I threw them away. Because I knew how toxic they were to your liver and kidneys, and I didn't want to go through that. I didn't want to have a bilateral quadricep rupture and then go through the physical therapy. I can walk, but now I got kidney failure or liver failure. So I was conscious enough
because those medications medication gets processed in the kidneys and liver, like pharmaceuticals, drugs, all that stuff gets processed to the kidney, and it's hard on the kidneys and the liver. They don't tell us that.
Yeah. So, man, my wife, man, she was like staying up all night, washing me up. Man, she had to wash me up at the sink. I couldn't walk. I had my walker. My legs was locked from my hips all the way down to my ankles, and both her legs at the same time. So I had a couple of guys ask me on YouTube today. Well, I responded today. Um, Man, man, I feel like I'm so depressed right now. And trust and believe, you're gonna go through that. But one of the things that's why I asked, this particular person, you know who you are if you're watching. I asked, I said, hey, who's there helping you do the things that you can no longer do? Because that makes a big difference. My wife, thank God, was here with me. But one of the guys said that he didn't have nobody. But he said the difference was he only did one leg. He told me, he was like, I couldn't even imagine if I had did two legs and didn't have nobody there with me, you know. And so I always tell the guys too, because they like, man, how did you get back to walking up and down the stairs? That's where the physical therapy part came in, because they had me doing step down, step up, step down, step up. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I would be probably a lot further if I would have did the homework, because 100% of everything that I did while I was in front of the physical therapist, it was all good. But when I would go home and they would give me these little charts to do these home exercises, that's where I know I dropped the ball, because I would be a lot further right now if I had did the homework. So I'm saying that to say to all the guys and the fellas, the bodybuilders, the power lifters, all the guys that's been asking me these questions, do your homework. I know it's boring. I know you're not getting the pump, you know what I'm saying? You're not getting swole, but the stability muscles are way more important than the flexing muscles or the big swole muscles. Those little muscles, man, play such a key role, and you got to get those in order. Otherwise, when you get 56, because I know one of the guys said he was 43, I'm 56. And fortunately, I was in tip top shape, you know, when the injury happened.
The paramedics thought he gave the wrong birthday. They're like, uh, 1967. Like, are you sure? They look at
Yeah.
me. Are you sure? I'm like, yes.
They thought
He's 50.
they thought what they call the stuff they gave
Well,
me.
they were thinking like you were in shock or the morphine
Yeah.
had you like tripping. I'm like, yes, that's. They're looking at his driver's. I'm like, his driver's license says 1967.
Yeah, man. So, but that's one thing I can say to all the fellows that's reaching out to me. I haven't had any ladies or women reach out to me about a bilateral quadricep tear or even a single leg, a single bilateral, I mean, single um, quadricep tendon tear. Nobody has reached out to me as far as females. So it's probably not a female thing.
You know, I
But
honestly, I think part of that is we go into things like Pilates, yoga. Like we do things that work on more stability and balance
yeah,
than men tend to. That's not a bad thing. That's just a way that we train. Like, you know how I love core and stability.
yeah,
That's like my shit.
yeah. When I used to see you doing that stuff back in the day, I'm like, let me get out of here. Let me go and hit these weights and see. And that's why if I had been doing stability exercises, that injury probably would have never happened. But I'm gonna go back a little bit deeper than that, because I saw some of the guys who big swole, super, 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 super swole. And one of the things that when I first went into the hospital, when the ambulance took me to the hospital, when the surgeon came in, he said, "What kind of steroids were you taking?"
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And I said, "What?" I said, at first, I wanted to deny it. I'm like, I said, "Man, I ain't been taking nothing. What you mean?" He was like, "No." He was like, "Injuries like this usually happen to big bodybuilder dudes because of taking steroids." And I did dibble and dabble in it, you know what I'm saying, back in the day. So it doesn't have to be you taking it right now. The damage was done years ago.
Like 30 years prior.
Yeah, years ago, from taking D-ball, Masteron, testosterone, Anadrol 50s, all these toxic chemicals, steroids that damage your tendons. they actually start, their tendons start to fray. They become real weak. And so when that surgeon asked me that, I tried to deny it. I'm like, man, I ain't taking nothing. Man, I had to pull him to the side right before the surgery. I'm like, Doc, I said, yeah, man. I said, I was taking this, and this. He said, I know. He's like, I didn't have a doubt that you were. So
Wait, you said back in the day, right?
yeah, yeah,
But I told him that.
yeah. Well, I didn't know you told him that, but
Well, he asked me. Well, because they pulled me aside and asked me too.
yeah,
And it said, well, this usually comes from, is he, they tried to say it like, is he taking any like enhancements? And I'm like, I said, yes, he did, but like 30 years ago, would that be affecting him now? Because they said no, but they most likely don't know.
yeah. So man, listen. So guys, man, if you're still going through this, or anybody else that sees this at a later date, man, y'all guys can reach out to me, man. Ask me any type of questions if you're on here right now, or if you watch the replay, whatever it is, whatever questions, I would be straight up 100% real honest with you guys. This is not something that I would like to see anybody ever have to go through.
Well,
And
I wanna touch on a couple things before we wrap up. One, um, share the fact that you went to two types of different physical therapists.
yeah, so the first physical therapy, well, first of all, there was a physical
Well, you
therapy.
actually you went to three. I forgot.
Yeah,
You went to
Vimy.
three.
The first person who saw me after seeing me around our building downtown Chicago, seeing me walking around, seeing me lift weights, seeing me run around, and then she saw me on a walker with braces on from both my hips to all the way down to my ankles, legs locked straight, you know. So she was like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" And I didn't even know she was a physical therapist. I knew she lived in
As our
our building.
neighbor.
So she actually offered to do physical therapy for me for free. And that was huge, and we still cool right now. We still my girl Vimy, she has her own practice here in Chicago, downtown Chicago,
And she came from one of the best physical therapy centers in the country.
in the country. It's called Shirley Ryan Ability Lab.
That's where Jamie Foxx went
Yeah,
after he had his stroke.
yeah. And that's where I was going. So I went there for like 4 months. So they got me back walking. They got me back doing, like,
Actually, no, honey, we got to touch on Athletico.
oh my God, Athletic Ho. I mean,
So here's the thing: he
you
went,
gotta tell that one.
and
You gotta tell that one.
we're not bad mouthing nobody's company, but this is what happened when Brian went to Athletico. We didn't know this. I don't forgot who. I think Vimy told us this. They initially had him in there marked as a patella tear.
Patella tendon.
Patella tendon tear, which was potentially dangerous because the type of things they had him doing could have potentially injured him further versus helping him get stronger. We didn't know.
Yeah.
So he started out at Athletico with one therapist. She left. I believe she started her own practice. Then we got another physical therapist. He was a nice guy. He was super green. Like he would just got his
Certification.
of like physical therapy. We might have been his first client.
Yeah.
So what happened, what I didn't like about Athletico was that is like they would show him two exercises, give me a sheet of what he's supposed to be doing at home, then they leave him to go do the exercises on his own while they go work with other patients because they were just kind of like churning and burning, like churning the clients out versus like really focusing on your form. Is this helping? Is this hurting? Like, hey, how you doing? Okay, we'll be back. What? And we have all the videos of that are in Brian's journey through the recovery from the tears. So I didn't love them. So we went to them to a point, but it was just like it was enough to get you. They started, adding more bend of the angle in the braces, and it was enough. I don't even think they got you off the braces. I think Vimy might have got you off.
Yeah, Vimy got me off the braces. But the thing is, when I was going to Athletico, they would have like 6 or 7 clients
At the same
and
time.
same time. So that means they're gonna spend like 3 minutes with me. They're gonna tell me, hey, go over there in the corner, do these, and we'll be back to check on you. So it was times where I was just standing there waiting on somebody to come back and check on me. So I'm like, okay, I can't keep doing this because I was paying for that out of my pocket at the time. It was like $300 a day. I was paying that out of my pocket. So for me to pay $300 a day, and then you're gonna be over there talking to somebody else when my hour worth of time that I'm supposed to be in there with somebody supervising me is like running out. I'm like, okay, that's it. I can't do this. And then I ran to Bimmy again inside of our building, and she was like, come to Shirley Ryan Ability Lab. And my wife looked it up. She was like, oh my gosh, she was like, that's the best place. That is the best physical therapist place in the entire world.
And they took our insurance.
Yeah, and they took our insurance and they got me back on my feet. They got me back doing almost everything. They got my legs bending at a 90-degree angle again, even though it was so painful, you know.
She really had you working on the steps.
Yeah.
She had you on the Bosu ball. She had you on the treadmill. Like, so like Athletico, they didn't even, and again, not bad mouthing them as a company. That's just this is what happened. It's
Yeah.
documented. Um, they didn't have the equipment or the ability to really help you work to get stronger. They had enough to get you walking, and that's it.
Yeah.
Vimy was helping you with the steps, the Bosu ball, the balance, the stability ball, the core strength, the hip strength, because of being locked. Because you were locked, what, 4 months straight
It was longer than that.
before we even started physical therapy. Like, there was this long delay before we started physical therapy. So that whole time you're sitting, your glutes are getting weak.
Yeah, and small. I was losing my butt. So my butt was shrinking. It was muscle atrophy. And my thighs, my quads was shrinking. So everything was shrinking.
But he was still, as soon as he was able to get the green light to go to the gym and still do upper body, which is cool because it was approved, but he couldn't work lower body. So then we get these weaknesses in the glutes, but the weaknesses in the glutes don't help the knees at all. They actually make the knees even weaker. So she is one, she makes sure we help working the hips and the glutes. Guys, anyone going through this injury, you want to make sure you're focusing on those lateral exercises, working on building, like either lifting out or laying down on one side and lifting up, getting those hips and those glutes, because the strengthening those areas, because you're going to be weak from sitting on them, from working, like healing through the injury, that's going to help strengthen your knees. It sounds great that your glutes affect your knees, but you definitely want to work on strengthening those areas. And those exercises, like Brian was saying, they're tedious as hell, but they're so important. It's not fun to work the little muscles. It's not fun to work your ligaments and the tendons. Exactly. It's not fun. The fun stuff is the heavy lifting. But the thing is, when we work the small muscles and the small muscle groups, that's what sets us up so that we can lift heavier and be injury free. I'm 43 years old. I want to stay injury free. Like, I dislocated my shoulder. It wasn't like his injury, but that's our goal, is longevity. So that's why I wanted you to stress the importance of, one, go to physical therapy. Don't just do a little bit and like you start feeling good and stop going. Please don't do that.
Man, I had somebody reach out to me and tell me that too. They was like, oh man, yeah, I'm good now. I went to physical therapy for 3 weeks. I'm good. No, you're not. You just don't know that you're not.
Because what if something happens and you need to do a stutter step or make a sudden movement and you can't make those movements? Not that your tendon's gonna tear, but you can. Okay, for my guys that have only torn one, the doctors told Brian, and as unfortunate as it was, they told Brian that it was almost better that he tore both, because they repaired both and they would both be strong. If you tear one, the likelihood of you tearing the other is high, because you start favoring that one side.
Yeah.
And I'm not wishing that on anybody, but I want to let you know so you can be aware. You want to make sure you're strengthening both sides so we can prevent that injury.
Yeah. So treat, even if you only rupture one, treat it as if you ruptured both, and do the same exercises on each leg, because that way you're strengthening both sides instead of the one that you ruptured. making it strong, and the other one is susceptible to injury. Why not do both legs at the same time, even though the right might not be injured, the left one might be injured, or vice versa? So, man, so guys, man, feel free, man, to reach out to me anytime. And I know some of y'all have been reaching out, but I just went through a serious, ordeal with three deaths in my family this last month. I saw some of the guys that reached out to me in the month of November, and so it took me a while because I hadn't been checking my YouTube. And so, guys, I just want to let y'all know, man. Hey, look, tomorrow is not promised, so don't put it off. Do the physical therapy. Do whatever it takes to get you feeling better. Besides, I wouldn't take all that medication. That medication is toxic. If you can do it without the medication, do it without the medication.
Now, one thing, okay, I'll say one thing that we did use is Arnica montana. So the topical Arnica montana, it's a natural pain reliever. It helps with pain, swelling, and bruising. The doctors did not tell us about this. I just happen to know about it. So when, especially in those days, and we did a video of this too, in his recovery journey, waiting to do the surgery. He was in so much pain. There was like literally nothing we could do about it
Yeah,
until he went to the surgery. So Arnica montana helps with pain, swelling, and bruising, and it's topical and it penetrates that area directly. So I agree. I would suggest, like, if you can, try to stay, like, just take as little of the pain medication as possible, because you also don't want to become dependent on it.
yeah,
So
exactly.
I wanted you to touch on the physical therapy piece. So after Atletico, after Vimy, he actually did go to another physical therapist who focused on sports performance. That's where it was like you almost need it's like you almost need three levels. Like, you need the one that's going to get you walking. You
Yeah,
need someone that you're going to work on core stability and balance. And then, because, hey guys, you guys train, you want someone who's going to help you get back so you have that mobility to train like an athlete again, because an average physical therapist is not going to be focused in that. So I would say, if you can find one, find a physical therapist who specializes in sports performance. Especially when you like to lift, you want someone who specializes in that, because they're going to know what you're going after to try to heal. The average person is just trying to do athletical. They just want to go walk because they ain't even working out.
right.
You like to train, you need to go somebody that's going to help you get back to training and be stronger than you were before, because now your legs are stronger than they were before. So I wanted to touch on all levels of physical therapy. And lastly, I wanted you to talk about, like, now your body is physically strong and physically healed, but it's here now.
Yeah,
It's mental now. Now it's, learning how to walk people through the journey of that you're still going through, learning how to trust your body again, trust your knees again, trust your legs again, and work on letting go of that fear, which is traumatizing. It's a
yeah,
life-changing experience. It's extremely traumatizing. So you're going to be on, like, that defense, like, whoa, I don't want to do anything that's going to make me do this again. But that learning to trust your body again.
yeah. So one of the biggest things that I know that she's speaking of, is when I walk down the stairs and people get behind me. First of all, I can hear their footsteps coming down behind me, and it makes me so nervous that I step to the side, hold on to the rail, and I say, "Go ahead, just go ahead." And then they're looking at me because when they see me walking in a straight line, people see me walking and they don't think that anything is wrong with me at all.
Honestly, I think part of that is you thinking that, but also they think you're swole, so they see you're muscular, so nothing can physically be wrong with you.
No, I'm talking about people that when they see me walking normal, like walking straight line, no incline, no decline, when I'm walking straight, people have no idea that I would have ever had an injury like that. But
Oh,
when
that's
they see
true.
me walking down the stairs looking like I'm 3 years old because I'm holding onto the rail because I'm still nervous And I think because I'm holding on to the rail is not because I can't let it go. It's because I'm scared to let it go. Because all the months that I went through physical therapy and holding on to that rail, and a couple of times when a couple of people got behind me and it made me speed up. One time I was at the gym and like it was rush hour. People were trying to hurry up and get to work, and I was going down the same stairs as they were going down, but I was going, one step at a time, one step at a time. And then I can hear all these people's feet, these shoes just coming down the stairs real fast. So I stepped to the side. I'm like, go ahead. So I let a couple of people pass me. Then I grabbed the handle, I mean the railing again, and I started going back down. I'm like, oh, shit, they're right behind me again. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna speed up. So I tried to speed up and go a little bit faster. My gym bag flew off my shoulder. I had to catch the rail with both hands. So I almost fell from trying to get out the way of people that was making me feel nervous because I was holding on to the rail. So that right there still is in my head.
Forget them people.
Because right now, still today, when I go down those damn stairs, man, it's no joke. And I don't want to be like that for the rest of my life. Like I said, my life started over when I was 50 because I'm going through the same things that a child learning how to walk from the point where they're an infant until they're 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. You know, and some of those little kids can run circles around me right now. So my life started over again when I was 50. So I saw one guy, he reached out, he said he was 43. Man, you got this, you can do it, don't give up. And all this stuff that we're talking about, man, go to physical therapy and do the exercises, do the stability exercises. Do not skip anything that they have you to do. So man, I just want to jump on here because like I said, man, you know, tomorrow ain't promised. I could have fallen and hit my head and been out of here. Because to be honest with you, the day before my accident, one of my boys, I was called like, hey B, man, they about to pull the plug on Eddie. So I'm like, shit, what the fuck? He fell, he hit his head, had a brain aneurysm, and he was out of here the day before I fell in front of the Apple store downtown Chicago. And what was crazy is that the day that they pulled the plug on him, my appointment wasn't to go to the hospital because I didn't have no idea that he was even in the hospital and they were about to pull the plug. But I got redirected because I was supposed to go to the Apple store that particular day. But when they called me and said that Eddie, they're about to pull the plug on Eddie, I went around the Apple store and went to the hospital to be there with Eddie's family. And then on the way back home, one of my boys tried to give me a ride. I said, no, man, I need to clear my head. I'm going to walk. Because seeing one of your homies take their last breath, it ain't no joke. So especially he was younger than me, much younger than me. And so who knew that the very next day, even though I walked past the Apple store after I left the hospital from seeing them pull the plug on Eddie, I walked past the Apple store and my head was like, man, I should just go ahead and go in the Apple store right now and go ahead and get my phone fixed right now as I was walking back from seeing Eddie get the plug pulled on him. And the only reason I did not do it that day is because of the fact that I walked up to the window and I looked down there inside the store, the Apple store, and it was crowded. I said, you know what? It's been a rough day. I just seen my boy take his last breath. I said, I'm going to go home. I'll go to the Apple store tomorrow. So tomorrow came. I walked to the Apple store. Never made it to my appointment because I ruptured both of my quadriceps tendons completely from both of my kneecaps. So it's like one of those things when you say, damn, if I would have just went the day that Eddie had the plug pulled on him, that would have never happened to me. And it's crazy to like try to look at it that way because I don't know. You just never know. So
You don't.
like I said, tomorrow is not promised.
So I want to wrap up with, you know, there's so many people. I never thought that when we started sharing the videos, when this first happened, we didn't know what the process was going to be like. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, look, y'all, I'm going to be straight up. The only person we knew to tear both the quadricep tendons tore his, and then they put him in cast up to his thighs, and he had to poop in a bucket because obviously you can't bend your legs to sit on the toilet. So I don't like. So all we knew is that this dude had cast up to his thighs on both legs and had to poop in a bucket.
Standing up.
And I'm thinking in my mind, how
Because
am I
look,
gonna?
so I'm gonna tell y'all like this because I thought about because I told her I said now David, yeah, I didn't want to lose. Anyway, anyway, I said my man had the cast like for real cast, like you got to cut those off up to his thighs and couldn't walk, couldn't bend, couldn't do nothing. He was walking like for real like this. So he had to stand up. His girl had to put newspaper, towels, and all kind of stuff around the bucket, and he had to stand up and let the poop fall out into the bucket.
So all I'm thinking about is, am I gonna be dumping poop buckets?
Nope.
Or like,
Nope.
I'm gonna
no.
wipe his butt?
Nope.
Now look here, I would have done it. I'm his wife. I would have done it. But I'm thinking in my mind, like, okay, how is this about to go? So I started searching YouTube. And I could only find, it was only one other guy who shared the journey, and he tore one. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, this doesn't look so bad. But it still didn't tell the story of both. So I said, no, we got to document this whole thing. So many people have reached out who had this experience and had this injury, and we shared it just to let you know that even though it may feel and seem like it's so bad, because it's mentally and physically probably the worst thing that you've ever experienced.
It is.
And then it didn't happen until you were 50. So we wanted to show you that the journey and the process of the healing does not have to be so bad. But you have, like, in this way, brought together a community of people who've all shared a similar journey. So you have the opportunity to support each other while you're going through this journey of healing from this traumatic injury. And I think there's something powerful in that.
Yeah.
For we want you to know there's hope. We want you to know, like, a big part of his healing, because he went into depression. We didn't touch on that today, but
Yeah.
he went into depression. And my goal in the house was that I know that your mind is so powerful, and it has such a big influence over how you heal.
True.
So if you go into depression and you start coping with alcohol, because we had cut out alcohol, we're like, look, everything needs to be clean so you can heal.
Yeah.
Your mind has such a powerful influence over how you heal. So I'm like, hey, let's turn on the comedy, make sure the people around us are supportive. It's some folks who had to go. It's some folks who had to go.
You see, that's another episode.
We'll say that for another. It's some folks who had to go.
That's another episode.
So you want to make sure the people around you are supportive, because you're going through something that's so hard. You want to make sure your spirits are up. And then every day is not going to be, happy go lucky, but you want that to be the goal. We were meditating every day. So you want to I want to let you know that you do have some control over how you heal. And if you ever need to reach out, and B will hit you back like, hey, I felt that. I feel you.
Yeah.
But I want y'all to know you're not alone. And then he's still in this too, even 5 years later, that you physically healed, but now we're working on the trust in your body again.
Yeah. So one of the accomplishments that I was able to make since physical therapy is, I couldn't do 10 pounds on leg extensions on the machine, leg extension machine. I couldn't even do 5 pounds actually, because when I would extend, that leg would be shaking so bad, like crazy. When I used to lift like 200 pounds on leg extensions and I couldn't even lift five after the injury, that was like mentally disfiguring. And it was just messing me up that I could not lift 5 pounds. And
Because you
from
came from lifting what?
like on a leg extension, like 150, the whole stack for like 20 reps. I couldn't do 5 pounds for one rep, so that was like killing me. And then I couldn't, what else couldn't I do? Oh, when I would go to the bathroom, fortunately, our bathroom was set up in such a way I had to figure it out, because she was talking about wiping my poop.
No,
I
I went in there, I figured it out.
no, I went there. I was like, look,
No,
I just be a gymnastics.
no, honey. I know. I'm the one. I came back and told you that. Cause look, when we came home from the hospital, they sent us home with this thing that you sit on top of the toilet, and it had handles, but it was so narrow. I'm like, his butt's not. It looked like it was for a kid. I'm like, his butt's not fitting in that. Number one, and then like there was this like big gap about this big between this is the seat and then the toilet seat. So any poop that hit that, now I'm wiping like a poop stack. So I'm like, okay. I went in the bathroom like, look, okay, I'm grateful they didn't put him in the cast. Okay, we don't need that. We got the braces. He had really good braces. I was in there trying to figure. I'm like, okay, if I hold this and keep my legs, I was in there piking myself up. If I could just do this, and that's when I came out and told you, I was like, honey, if you put your hand on the sink, because fortunately, this the way our bathroom was built. Like the sink was here, and we had a jacuzzi tub at that time. That was here, and he could pike up. And fortunately, we had this oddly large bathroom where there was just a lot of space, so your legs could stay straight and you could slide up and slide down. So when I figured that out, I came out and told you, because I was like, we're not going to use this toilet thing. I'm going to clean and poop off this thing all day. Because he poops 5 times a day, 10 times a day.
Not off that medicine. That medicine had me stocked up.
Constipated. Yeah, that's right. Because then they give you like colasers. They gave you something to loosen your poop because of the painkillers.
Yeah.
We need to wrap up. We going on too long.
So anyway, fortunately, I was able to lift myself up.
Yes.
And lower myself down to the toilet seat, and I was able to wipe my own ass. And then
I would have done it.
After I know she would have, and after I would finish, I can push up, and my legs lock straight, and I bring them right back underneath me, like pow.
So the key was like with that, you had to have.
See how I froze, like pow.
The key was you had to have your socks off. Like it had to be like where your heel could slide. Like we had like a whole like thing. We even shared there's a video in his journey with the rehab where he showed how he got up and off the couch.
Yeah, man. So hey, look, take a look at all the videos, man. And like I said, if y'all got any more questions, anything you need to know, supplementation. Matter of fact, we are going to be doing what are we doing? A live masterclass. We're doing a masterclass on different things. We're going to touch on things that help you with mobility, things that help your hormones, men and women hormones, things that you shouldn't be taking, things that you can take safely. And man, it's just going to be a big thing coming up this Sunday. So if
we'll drop the link below.
Yeah, if you're interested, man, just comment the word class, because it's going to be our first masterclass. We're doing this thing together on YouTube. So guys, comment the word class, and we got a lot of content coming for you. And like I said, if you guys need to reach me, man, reach out. reach out. I will be answering. I set the alerts on my phone now, so I will get your alerts when you reach out to me, because I feel bad that some of y'all had reached out to me over a month ago saying that, hey, you just ruptured both of your quadricep tendons, or you just ruptured just one. But now I will see that alert, and I'm telling you, when I see it, I will respond. So, man, thank y'all for following me. And
So I want you to end with some words of encouragement, because I saw some of the messages today, and like I feel for like a lot of the guys going, well, all the guys going through this, because I can't imagine. I don't know how supportive their family are, their friends are, the people like.
yeah, that's what
Unfortunately,
I asked. I saw those comments, and I asked
yeah.
a couple of people. I'm like, man, I said, do you have somebody there with you?
So leave some words of encouragement, because you were down in the depths of it, finding out who your real friends are and all of that. What
Yeah.
would you say, just so wrap up with some words of encouragement?
So one of the things that I would say is that you will find out who your true friends are. You know, I did, and I had no idea of that. Some of the people that I had to let go, I had to let go. You know, they were in my life for a season, and whatever that was, whatever the reason was. But when I had to call on certain people, they weren't there. You know, and I couldn't go to the doctor. I couldn't get in the car by myself. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do nothing without somebody. I had to have somebody lift my legs up and get me inside the car. My wife would
The
usually
the
hold my
car was
legs.
a trip. I think we have videos getting the car was a trip.
Yeah, because I would have to sit across the back seat, and I would have to pick myself up with my arms, and then somebody else would have to grab my legs and then push me back into the seat. So I couldn't put on the seatbelt because I had to sit sideways. And but the thing was, when I would call people who I've helped, I've loaned money to, I've helped pay car notes,
Save them
phone
from losing their
bills,
houses.
I saved people from losing their houses and all kinds of stuff. And I say, hey, big bro, hey, can you come get me tomorrow? I need to be at the doctor by 11. Can you come get me and take me to the doctor? Oh man, let me see what I got to do. I'll let you know. And then tomorrow comes, I'm like, man, what's up, bro? You never hit me back. Oh man, I forgot, man. No, I ain't gonna be able to do it, dog. Okay. All right, cool. It was so much of that. I had to let so many people go, unfortunately. Well,
No,
I'm gonna
fortunately.
say fortunately now, because they just weren't meant to be in my life. So, but don't let nothing stop you from just don't think. If you think you can, or if you think you can't, either way you're right. So just know that if you think you can, you're right. If you think you can't, you're right again. So don't go the negative way, stay the positive way. So keep pushing, keep going forward. Physical therapy, don't stop, no matter how much it hurts. Do your homework, man. And I'm telling you, and if you need to talk to somebody, if you ain't got nobody to talk to, reach out to your boy Big B. I'm here for you. I know what you're going through. I know better than anybody knows. I know better than what, if you call your mama might not talk to you. You call your daddy might not talk to you. But I know what you're going through. Hit me up. I will talk to you. It goes down. You heard it from me, your boy Big B. Quadricep ruptures. Let's go.
So I did want to say this real quick. Meditation's a big part of the healing,
Oh yeah, I forgot about
and
that.
we're
Big
gonna
time.
we're gonna drop some links to some of the meditations that we do now, especially for working for the mind to heal the body. We'll drop those below too. So I just wanted to say
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. Because meditation definitely has helped me. I went from not being able to meditate for 5 minutes to now I'm doing 35 minutes, 40 minutes. So, and I look forward to it. Before I actually started doing it, I'm like, oh, what is this stuff she doing? I ain't doing this. But once I got into it, I started seeing how it relaxes you, how it makes you breathe better, it makes you think more clearly.
that. And you
You
can
make better
physically heal the body.
choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can heal yourself through meditation. And I know some of y'all might not understand it right now, but some of these links that we're going to be giving you guys, you will understand it once you start involving yourself with the people who we meditate with. So I'm out. I'm tired.
Well,
But
this was good.
yeah,
We need to do this, and so we're gonna start doing live. Well, not start. We're doing lives every week now. I don't know if we're gonna do Thursday or if I don't know if Friday's a good day, but we'll just get a regular day. Sunday might be a good day. No, we're gonna get a regular day where we do them every week. We'll be here Q&A, whatever topic comes up, we'll make sure we're addressing.
matter of fact, speaking of Q&A, if y'all got some questions, man, drop them and I will respond. And man, I just want everybody to have a great evening or great morning wherever you are in the world. And let's go. Stay positive. Stay blessed. Peace. I don't know what I'm doing.